we're still in isolation, so we need to stay safe. We need to stay inside as much as we can. And when we do go out, we should only go out with the people that we live with. And we need to keep a safe distance from other people too. So hopefully everyone is managing to stay happy and healthy at home. Last week we did talk about how the news can make us feel upset and anxious about what's happening and the situation at the moment. So today we're going to focus on some positives from our everyday activities. So some of us might be feeling a bit bored at the moment because we have the same routines going on day in and day out. We get up, we get dressed, we brush our teeth, we have breakfast, we stay at home all day. This is really different compared to what we would usually be doing at school or in the holidays, because it's the holidays at the moment. So it's important that we recognise the good things that we're doing every day so that we can remain positive while we're at home. And this is something called perspective. So when we have perspective, it helps us to feel better about situations that might be difficult for us and helps us to not feel too overwhelmed. So here are a few things that we can do every day to keep our perspective nice and positive and help us to stay happy with what we're achieving every day. So number one is do something you always do and you know that you're really good at. So this could be a routine that you do every day, like getting up, putting on your clothes. Could be making breakfast for yourself or for other people in your house, because you know that you can do that really well. The important thing is we do this because it makes us feel like we've accomplished something. So we've done something good, and in turn that makes us feel good about ourselves. So this task shouldn't be a big thing. It shouldn't be something that is going to take up a long amount of time or something that takes you a lot of effort to be able to do. Keep it nice and short and simple so you know you can do it really easily. So for example, myself, I've been playing games on my PlayStation. I like my PlayStation a lot, but I play the games that I know that I can do well and that I can achieve in, because that makes me feel good when I've managed to achieve something in those games. But with something like PlayStation or Xbox or gaming, it's also important to realise that if the game is making you feel frustrated or you feel like you keep failing at it and it's upsetting you, then it might be time to have a break from that game or maybe play something else instead. Okay, tip number 2 is do something for someone else. Helping other people is a really great way to gain back a bit of that perspective that we might have lost from doing the same things or listening to the same information that's making us feel down. So it makes us feel really good when we help people, and because we've done something social with someone, that gives us a bit of a boost as well. Social activity is really important at this time too, with the people that you're living with. It also makes the other person feel really good because we've helped them to do something. And again, this should be something that should be simple for us to do, something that isn't too hard. If you feel like the thing that you're trying to help with is too difficult or it might be too hard for you, then it probably isn't a good thing to do. It might make you end up feeling worse if you can't do it to the level that you want to or the way that the other person needs the help. When you're helping someone, it's a really good idea to ask the person if there's anything you can do to help them with. Someone like your mum, your dad, or your carer who you live with in your house probably have lots of things that you could help them with already. They probably have a really big list. So it's always best to ask first. It's also best to keep helping to the people that live in your own house at the moment. So some people are helping their neighbours by collecting shopping or medicine and posting it or leaving it at their doors. And you can be a part of this too, but it's best that you do it with your parents or your carer's support at the moment, because obviously we're not supposed to be out and about very much. So if your family are doing that, if they're helping other people or other members of your family that don't live with you, you can be a part of that. It's best to just do it with your parent or carer's supervision and support as well. Helping is something that always makes everyone feel a lot better, so we should do it as often as we can. So tip number 3 is do something new. Now we have a lot of time at home. It's a really good excuse to start practicing a new skill or getting a new hobby. So you might have an instrument in your house that you want to get better at, or you might have a big stack of craft activities in a drawer somewhere that you've never used before. something like a colouring book or painting equipment or things like that you've been meaning to do for ages but have never got round to it, well, now is a really good time to get those things out and start them. You might want to start a new skill for the first time, so something like drawing might be good. There's lots of great tutorials for things like that on YouTube and the internet, so you can work through those things at your own pace. You can watch a little bit of a video at a time, do a little bit of the activity, go back and watch the video again, rewind it so you can see the exact bit you need help on. That's what I tend to do when I need help with something and I go on YouTube. You could start a project on something that you're really interested in. So if you think of your favourite animal or country or car, you could use the internet to research that and find more information and maybe make a poster on that, or a little booklet or something. That's a really creative way of doing something that you know you'll enjoy because it's your favourite thing. Cooking is also a really great skill to develop while you're at home, and that can help you become more independent as well. So that's something that you might be practicing at school anyway. So just remember, we shouldn't be going out to the supermarket very regularly anyway, so try not to cook all of the food in the house all at once if you are going to practice cooking. Maybe just do a little bit a day, and obviously check with your parents or your carers first before you start cooking, because they might be able to help you use some of the equipment. So if you're using something like an oven or a microwave or a blender, something that could be potentially dangerous, you need to have an adult around to help supervise you in that. But cooking is a really, really useful skill to develop during this time, and something that will be really helpful to you in the future as well. Again, when you're doing something new, it doesn't have to be something huge. It could be something really little as well. It could be watching a new episode of something that you've not seen before, or picking up a book that you haven't read before and reading a little bit of that. Doesn't mean that you have to finish it in one day. It's something that you've started that's new and helps you get perspective on keeping positive and doing something new again tomorrow. So it could be continuing with that episode or that film, or continuing with reading a little bit of that book, or continuing with the painting that you started yesterday. It's still something new, but it helps your perspective to be a little bit more positive. And it means that you're doing something different and that you've challenged yourself a little bit, which is still really important during this time. Okay, so the 3 things that we've talked about today are: 1, do something that you're really good at. 2, do something to help someone. And 3, do something new for the first time. So hopefully you can do a few of these things each day to help you keep your perspective really positive and feel like you're achieving a lot more with your days than you maybe thought you were before. So you're probably doing a lot of these things already. Perspective is about being conscious of those things though, and thinking of them in advance so you feel better about yourself. Don't worry if you don't manage to do all 3 during the day. There's plenty of time to try them all out, and you don't have to do them all at once. That's really important to recognise. It might help if you write a list for each thing of those 3 things. Then you can have a look each time you feel a bit bored and you're looking for something to do. You can have a look at your list and think, right, I'm going to do one of those things today. I'm going to do one of those things next. So if you're looking for something to do, you've always got your list ready to go. Okay, so that's all for today. Hopefully see you again soon. Stay safe, stay inside as much as you can, and see you later.